So for the last month, I've been stalking all of these Stranger Things actors and actresses to try and figure out who is the most successful. And today we start with Noah Schnapp, aka Will Byers. He was born in New York with his sister Chloe Schnapp, who has 1 million followers on Instagram just from the fame that Noah has brought her. And yes, you're reading that correctly, has 27 million followers on Instagram, which is more than the population of North Korea. When Noah was 8, his acting teacher saw that he had potential and suggested that he attempted a professional career in acting to his parents. Noah's parents, Catherine and Mitchell, didn't hesitate when signing him up to Westchester's Star Kids, where Noah was coached by Allison Isbranston, who is the co-founder of Star Kids. Allison quickly realized Noah's potential when teaching him how to act and referred him to MKSD Talent Management, who helped him get the role on Stranger Things when he was just 10 years old. On season 1 and 2 of Stranger Things, he was paid $20,000 an episode, of which there were 8 episodes in season 1 and 9 episodes in season 2, making him a total of $340,000 by the age of 12 years old. For season 3, he made $250,000 an episode, of which there's 8, which means he made $2.25 million by the age of 15. Then, for season 4, he was paid another $250,000 an episode, of which there's 9, making him another $2 million, bringing his total to $4.25 million by the age of 17. For the new season 5 of Stranger Things, Noah's being paid just under $7 million, totaling his net worth to $11.1 million by the age of 19 from just Stranger Things alone. But what if I told you, after stalking Noah for a little longer, that $11.1 million is just scratching the surface? When looking into his other sources of income, I found that you can privately hire Noah to publicly speak or show up to an event of yours for a price of anywhere between $50,000 to $100,000. His YouTube channel has nearly 5 million subscribers and is ranked in the top 1,000 channels of all time on Social Blade, where he's amassed millions of views and received anywhere from $51,000 to $330,000, and this is just something that he did in his pastime. On Instagram, he does brand deals with other companies, and using this online calculator to work out how much a page with 27 million followers should be paid for a post is anything over $200,000. From all of this information combined, I'm guesstimating that his net worth is close to $14 million. If you think that's a sickening amount of money, then you're going to actually be sick when you hear how wealthy some of these actors and actresses really are. The next person I stalked was Gaten Matarazzo, who obviously plays the coolest character in the whole series of Stranger Things. He was born in New Jersey in 2002, and he was 10 years old when he got diagnosed with a rare genetic disorder called cleidocranial dysplasia. Wow. His disability never held him back though, and he started acting when he was 9, doing commercials for banks, Wi-Fi, I mean, you name it.
What's so great about a 100% fiber optic network that makes your gaming system actually work awesomely?
But you see, the thing is, Gaten is unique because he's the only actor on this list today who seriously fucks with theatre production, and he was first sighted acting on Broadway at 9 years old for a wildly successful show that's now called Les Miserables. 1 year later, he was casted for the role of a lifetime that would change his life forever. For Stranger Things, he was paid the exact same as Noah and therefore made $11.1 million from all of the seasons combined. But let's dive into the interesting parts and figure out how much he makes from other things.
Hi, I'm Gaten Matarazzo. I'm 11 years old and I play Gavroche in Les Miserables on Broadway.
The minimum wage for being on Broadway is $2,034, and as a child actor, it's likely that Gaten was paid this much for his work. However, now Gaten is the star and the main role in the show Sweeney Todd, and his recent success has definitely allowed him to bargain for more money. Other A-list actors are paid anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000 a week for being on Broadway, and Gaten is 100% going to be earning a similar amount. In 1 year, that's close to $420,000 just from being on Broadway. He's performed in some high-earning movies such as Angry Birds and his own show Prank Encounters that's been airing for the last 4 years. In total, Gaten's net worth is $14.4 million. Moving quickly on to Sadie, who's also an American actress who's achieved an insane level of success in her young career. Sadie was born in Texas in 2002, and she began acting at the age of just 8 and featured in adverts in American TV for spot creams and other random shit Unlike the others, she already worked with Netflix in major roles before starting on Stranger Things. She had a pretty big role on a series called Coven, where the show questions whether or not she's a witch. When she started in Stranger Things in season 2, she was paid $150,000 an episode for her appearance, and therefore made $1.35 million from season 2. For season 3, she was paid the same, but there was only 8 episodes, so she was paid $1.2 million. For season 4, she made $350,000 an episode, where she played a key role, and totaled $3.15 million. For season 5, she's being paid $7 million for the season, totaling her pay from Stranger Things to be $12.65 million. But now on the interesting part. For her brand endorsements on her popular social media presence, she's made upwards of $1.5 million. She's modeled for the biggest fashion brands in the world, like Chanel, Prada, Miu Miu, and Kate Spade. Since Stranger Things, she's made features in the most movies out of anyone on our list today. How on earth does she find time to film on all of these movies and do Stranger Things at the same time? I don't know. Her work ethic has been praised by many of the people that she works with, and she's on track to be one of the most successful actresses of our generation. This makes Sadie Sink's total net worth $13.7 million. Look, we all know that money can't buy happiness, but we know from Sadie that it can definitely buy you style, and Finn Wolfhard, aka Mike, is right up there with her. He was born in Vancouver, Canada in 2002, and he was late to the acting game in comparison to the other people on the list. He began acting at the age of 12, and before starting on Stranger Things, he played Zoran in the TV series The 100. Just 1 year after starting his acting career, he landed the role of Mike in Stranger Things. So as a 13-year-old boy, he went straight into the top 1% of earners in the United States, making $160,000 off of season 1. Lucky f***ing bastard. And he pushed his way all the way up to earning $7 million off the new upcoming season 5. Finn's a cool kid, and he has several ways of making money. He's always had a passion for music, and he started his first band in 2017 called Calpurnia, which is actually quite a success in itself, their top 5 songs having 73 million plays combined. If you didn't know, Spotify pays their artists $4,000 per million plays, so in total they made $292,000, split between 4 of them. That's $73,000 each. And that doesn't include the money that they made from merch or live shows. That band ended 2 years later, and he started a new one called Aubrey's, which is just Finn and his friend Malcolm. Their new music hasn't taken off as much as their old stuff, but it's still doing pretty well, earning them a total of $44,000. Finn also has a YouTube channel with 390,000 subscribers, which is a lot more than me, by the way, so make sure you subscribe, but it's still pretty inactive. But if there's one thing that you have to admit about Finn, it's that this motherfucker has style. He's the new face of the French luxury brand Yves Saint Laurent, which typically pays about $600,000. Finn hasn't found it hard to find other acting jobs since Stranger Things. He played the role of Richie Tozier in the terrifying movie It. In 2021, he starred in the supernatural film Ghostbusters Afterlife, and after starring in those films and the others on screen, his net worth is about $16.6 million. Now, Caleb Mclaughlin, aka Lucas Sinclair, is an interesting one. He's the oldest of the kids featured in Stranger Things, born in 2001. The thing is, he's barely featured in any roles since Stranger Things has come out. But why? Well, he was born in New York, just like Gaten, who he's now very good friends with. As he's one of the oldest in the group, he turned 21 first in 2022, and he's been enjoying the club life, living it large and using his hard-earned money to catch up on the early years that he missed out on as a child. He's not as hyper-focused on the acting career as some of the other child actors from Stranger Things, but I have a lot of respect for wanting to enjoy yourself while you're still young. Caleb is featured in loose roles in Dora and the Lost City of Gold, Concrete Cowboy, and The Book of Clarence. But he enjoys creating music and freestyling, and he also has his own Spotify page where he's a verified artist, and he has one song that has over 2 million plays, which is still $8,000 in revenue. He gets some pretty cool sponsorships from the NFL on his social media channels, which I'm sure he makes a healthy $100,000 to $150,000 paycheck from. With his social media endorsements and Stranger Things paycheck and a small Spotify presence, his net worth is set to be the lowest on the list at $12 million, which is still insane at the age of 21, by the way, so incredible incredible fair play to him. So without further ado, we pivot from the lowest earning child actor to the highest, and debatably one of the highest paid child actors of all time. Let's dive into how much she's truly worth, and this 1000% is going to shock you. Millie is the youngest actor from the core Stranger Things group, born in 2004 in beautiful Marbella, Spain. The sad truth is that her family seemed to care very little for Millie during the early stages of her career. When Millie was 4 years old, her family moved away from Spain to Bournemouth in England, where Millie would start her acting career 4 years later. She's featured in several commercials for gyms, spas, and wellness products, and featured in a few short films during this time. You might have also seen her making appearances in Modern Family and crime show NCIS. She was casted for the role of Eleven, ironically at the age of 12. For season 1 and 2, she was reported to be making $30,000 an episode. That made her a total of $340,000 from the 2 seasons combined. Season 3 is a totally different ballgame, as she made $250,000 an episode, of which there was 8, totaling to $2 million for season 3. For season 4, she was paid $300,000 an episode, of which there was 9, making her a total of $2.7 million. Then for the new season coming out, she's earning $9 million, totaling her pay to be higher than any of the other kids on the list at $14.29 million. But that's just what we know she's making on the surface. In between filming Stranger Things, Millie's featured in several films, including Godzilla, of which she featured in the first and second film. She's also featured and produced in her first movie, Enola Holmes. For all of those combined, she was reported to make $1.2 million. But the real money spinner is in her social media pages. Her Instagram account has 63.5 million followers, which is higher than the population of France, Italy, or Spain. To put it into perspective how famous she really is, she has 20 million more followers than the household name Harry Styles. When using a social media brand deal calculator to work out how much Millie should be paid for a brand deal, it stops at 20 million followers, saying anything over $200,000 for a post is reasonable. But for this example, let's times that number by 3 and say that she's making anywhere over $600,000 to $1 million for one Instagram post. Her Facebook account has 5 million followers, but this page has received 30 billion views. If you didn't know, Facebook pays creators $1,000 to $1,500 per 1,000 views. That means her Facebook has generated $30 million? That can't be right. That's ridiculous. What the fuck? She's used her social media platforms to heavily promote the fact that she's a Samsung partner, which is reported to pay big-time creators $500,000 to $1 million per partner. She also has her own makeup brand called Florence by the Mills, which is reported to make $1.7 million in revenue last year, and the average employee is making $90,000 a year working for her company. With all of her houses, businesses, social media channels, and Stranger Things paycheck combined, she's worth close to $40 million. So after stalking all of these Stranger Things actors and making this video for the last month, I can finally rest knowing their level of success. If you want me to cover the adult stars or even another show that you like, let me know in the comments down below, and help me reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year so that I can donate £1,000 to a charity of your choice.